Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today we will be learning how to play chess when we are beginners. So first of all, you put your pieces in the center. In that case, I played pawn to e4. My threat was to play d4, so my opponent played c5 and prevented me from planting a pawn on d4. Now what am I doing? I'm just bringing my pieces into the game. I'm going knight c3. I'm going to play my other knight on the other natural square, which is the f3 square. Then I will see how my opponent will react, but my main goal will be to bring this piece out, bring the other piece out, and castle. Accepted. Incredible. Thanks. Great. I'm playing while live streaming now, so of course just subscribe to the channel and go check my live streams. Sometimes I'm playing simuls. Anyway, my opponent went pawn to d6, and I could play f4, trying to play super aggressively, but I will play something that is mainly pedagogical today. So I will just play knight f3. My opponent goes knight f6, which is bringing the knight into the game, and I will just keep bringing my pieces out. I bring my bishop out. Eventually, I will try to castle, and my position is already pretty normal. Yeah, I could feel like eventually there might be some pressure on the e4 square. If I play d3, I could protect this pawn with the pawn. Always try to protect your pawns with pawns. This is extremely important. I think that is the right way for you to get better. Okay, he's thinking. Mainly in this position, if I could just play d3, castles, my position would be extremely fine. By the way, subscribe to the channel. Okay, so here I see myself playing the move d3. I just see that he can eventually go knight a5, trying to attack my bishop, but I don't think that is a problem at all. I could also play d4 because he has a lot of space control in the center. If I'm playing d4, after pawn takes, I'm trading off my d pawn for his c pawn, but his c pawn doesn't affect the center control anymore. So notice that my pieces are all pointing at the d5 square, so I'm playing on the light squares, and he was controlling the d4 square. No, he's not. I just have to calculate because there is a capture here. Okay, he's playing very fast, but there is a capture here, and if I captured back with the knight, that was mainly a fork like that. Okay, he's going e6. Okay, now I have two options. I can just castle short, and then we are fine, or I can just play bishop g5, trying to long castle, and then you'll see that my rook will be on d1, and I will be applying pressure against the d pawn. I think I would do that because this is a very simple way of understanding what has to be done in openings. In openings, you have to choose a position where you feel like you could have forcing moves after a couple of moves. E5 is already a mistake, I think. Now the d5 square is extremely weak. I could be planting a knight right there. So I will just go back on d2 with my queen, which is defending my queen forever. It's also keeping an eye on the bishop. Okay, h6 is again extremely weird because I can just capture. Now if he captures back with the queen, I could play knight d5, which threatens the queen and threatens the fork. If he captures back with the pawn, then basically, yeah, okay, now I'm just playing knight d5. So he's giving me a lot of time to basically attack my opponent's pieces. We will see the opponent's rating in a second. Yeah, and now I can just go along castles. I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm basically bringing my rook into the game in such a way that it's already being active. Okay, now I see that the king is also a little bit weak. Maybe I could play bishop b5 because he has to go bishop to d7. Um, because if he goes queen d7, I can just capture the queen. And the problem for black is that after bishop d7, we have a very funny theme, which is I captured the only piece that was playing on the light squares, and now you can see something very funny. My knight is on d5. It cannot be chased away by pawns, and it's on the light square, so this bishop will never be able to get traded off for this knight. So I would just play queen 2. I think queen b4 is fine. I'm just keeping an eye on the pawn. In case he wants to go bishop e7, there might be a moment where I will even just trade to win the pawn on d6. Since the bishop is one of the main defenders of the pawn, I couldn't just move the knight away and win. Okay, let me calculate. If I capture, he captures back with the king to defend the pawn. So maybe I will just go rook d3. Before attacking, before executing threats, you have to prepare yourself. I see myself playing rook d1 now. I also see my rook swinging on the other side, trying to threaten some knight f6 forks. So maybe I will just play rook d1. Um, we never know. This is a very aggressive move. I will just play king b1. Everything is fine right here. And yeah, okay, he's playing very aggressively. I will just move back on okay, there's nothing wrong with queen e1. I'm also threatening a fork right now on b6. Since he played a5, he weakened the b6 square, and everything feels pretty decent. I think I will even try to play g3 f4, just trying to take a lot of space. This is a very important idea, guys. If you don't know what to do, taking some positional advantages like the space advantage will be extremely helpful. Okay, he's really trying to attack me. He's playing pretty decently. I'm not up any material for the moment. Okay, now he just gave me an open G file, so it's giving me a very simple plan, a very simple way of playing. Okay, I see that if I capture, he captures back with the queen. So maybe I can play e5 because if he captures, the rook will be lining up with the queen and I can go knight f6 check. He will have to capture the knight either way and then I win the queen. So I'll play e5. And my threat is also to capture on e7. He captures back and then I can win the pawn on d6 since there's now one, two, three attackers on the d6 square against one, two, three. But I'm going to trade one off so that he will have two defenders against one, two, three attackers on the d6 square. So there is like huge problem here. Okay, now I would just capture, he captures back, I can go rook d6, and we just see that my position just got a lot better extremely quickly. I can capture with the pawn, but I will capture with the rook, just to keep going with the long-term strategical pressure. And we will also see what else my opponent might be ready to blunder. Maybe he will blunder a full house, maybe he will blunder his car. Okay. Mm, F5, queen f3, this. Okay, I will just play f5 to play f6 and stop harassing my opponent's king. Okay, I can also just play e6 to create a passed pawn, but maybe I would just play h6. Oh, sorry, f6 here. Yeah, because now when he goes g6, the h6 square is extremely weak. I could play something like queen c1, just targeting the pawn, and if king there, then we'll see. Maybe I have to go e6, captures rook takes to go rook e7. This is also fine. Basically, if you could get a rook on the 7th, just put it on the 7th. And okay, now he's giving me a lot of things to play. I can also just capture everything here, but I think e7 is even better, but e7 feels like heaven. Okay, maybe I should just capture twice, just not overcompleting stuff. If he captures, then I just have the move e7. Even if queen takes, like he doesn't have any threats here, so my king isn't unsafe. My king is a little bit open, but it's not unsafe. Now I can just go e7 though. If rook e8, then I have rook d8, and I'm going to trade the rooks off. Yeah, that is a problem. I could feel like he's going to be lost now. Because if he captures back, okay, thank you for the queen. But if he was capturing, it would have been better. If queen b5, by the way, I was ready to go to defend the rook. I was ready to go right there. Haha, okay. Okay, let's try another round against this guy. This guy plays pretty well. Yeah, he's rated 800. So this is like really chance to go to 900 elo level. He's playing pretty decently, actually. Um, what should I play? Okay, I will play e5. He's playing e4, I will play e5. I appreciate your time. Thanks for playing. That's natural. Explaining my moves live while streaming slash recording. Recording. Haha. Don't really know the openings of the names of them. It's fine. Okay, I will play knight c6 and we will just see how my opponent is reacting to knight c6. Okay, we basically have everything. Okay, he's going for the Spanish. So what do I know in the Spanish? So I know a couple of very aggressive lines here, to be honest. Oh, that's epic. Yeah. Mm, okay, we'll go knight d4, which is a trap. Do you stream on YouTube? Yes, I do. Uh, even uh, recording now, haha. Nice. Okay. And now I'm just capturing back, and I have more space in the center. My goal is very simple. He doesn't have the right to play d4 right now. Now I would like to play d6, bring my bishop out, and so on. Maybe I would play with d6 first, just to bring my bishop into the game. I have to be careful about that, though. I will play c6, trying to force the bishop back. Okay, now if I go knight f6, I don't like the fact that he can go e5. Maybe I'm slightly worse now, but I don't care. I will play d6, just trying to make sure that I'm not allowing any queen g4, which was pretty aggressive. Oh, sweet, nice. Then I'm going to play knight f6, and my game looks pretty normal. What is Yannick is the name of your YouTube? No, haha. Siem Flores Tavernier. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Okay, now I just need one tiny second. I give you a subscribe. Hey, hey, nice. Let me just do something real quick because I just realized that there might be some problems, but everything feels pretty normal for the moment. I don't know what could go wrong, to be fully honest. But okay. And I'm just bringing my knight out, nothing too special. I'm never afraid of f4 because it's pinned, and if one day it was to become a threat, then I would be dealing with that. Now it's not a threat, so guess what? I am not dealing with um mm, yeah, and okay, this looks pretty good. Yeah, so everything feels nice. Everything feels all right. Now I will just castle. My game looks pretty normal. There's really nothing to point out. I'm Simon Stone. It's a pleasure to meet you. A pleasure to meet you too. Um, okay. Now, B4 is a little bit off. It's a little bit off because because it's not a thing. Already in this position, I had something called a weak signal. So when he went rook e1, he basically told me, all right, the bishop now can keep an eye on the pawn, and my rook is no longer defending it. So I was already thinking about moves like knight g4, but I didn't quite see the point because he can just defend, and I didn't try to calculate queen h4 because I'm writing stuff, defending, talking, etc., etc. So it's a little bit my fault. But now when he plays b4, I see something very funny. I see a couple of things. First of all, I see that I can go queen b6, which is attacking the pawn on b4 and threatening on f2. And the second thing is, I don't see any options for him to basically defend everything at the same time. If he goes rook e1, then I can just win the pawn. But at the same time, he goes rook b1, so I'm not sure that's quite the best thing to do. So basically, he allowed me a little bit to um, go for some aggressive stuff right now. So I'm thinking about knight g4. If he goes rook f1, I see that I can go queen h4, which is threatening something on f2. If he goes g3, then it's mate. And if he goes h3, then I have knight f2. So knight g4, rook there, queen h4. Um, yeah, feels pretty good. So I think knight g4, he has to try rook e2, but then I can still go rook, queen there. G3, check this mate. So I think it's just knight g4 now. And it's going to be a pretty winning. Yeah, so now we are having a lot of good stuff here. Oh, some people, yeah, I forgot completely. Yeah, because there are some people in the chat, so it's a pleasure for me to answer you. Are you giving me a time handicap? Thank you, haha. Haha. Um, calculating. Um, never underestimating my opponents. Haha. Too much haha from me. Okay, everything looks pretty fine for the moment. I don't see the problem with anything that I just did for the moment. I'm in a very bad position. Short term, yes. Who knows? Maybe in the long run the game will be over, so there won't be any long run. Any long runs. Long runs. Nice. Nice. By the way, join the Discord. Haha. Yeah, and now he's giving me a forking one, which is very unlucky. Now it's worse. Haha. Okay, and now I could be a little bit sabotaging stuff, but I won't. For obvious reasons. He's going to go that way. He's going to play this move, and now checkmate. Perfect. Let's just keep going. Third round. We are ready. Let's just practice some more. Okay, he plays the Sicilian. Let's just try it yet again. D6. Okay, if someone gives you the center, just take the center. There is really nothing wrong with that. Now I'm just having the best central control ever. I can definitely trust my center. He's attacking my pawn. I'm just going to defend that. I'm a very simple human being. And yet again, there is nothing too bad. Nothing too bad for the moment. Hello everyone in the chat. E6. Okay, I can just play. Okay, I should be playing F4 normally, but I just want to stick to what is going to help you get better. Basically, put your knights on their natural squares. Those are really the natural squares of the knights. Can I play with you? Sure thing. I think that I would be opening things up in a second. Okay. Mm, Okay, for those of you who want to play some aggressive chess, you can play bishop d3. And bishop d3 is just a very, very great way of playing. Okay, I wanted to go e5 and then have this open bishop. Now he went e5 himself, which is sadly blundering a pawn, and I should be capturing a pawn. Why? Because after takes, 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 I'm up a pawn, and being up a pawn is good. So be up a pawn. But just for the purpose of the lesson, I mean of the lesson, of the stream, of the upload, of the everything, let's just castle and assume that this pawn doesn't hang. Just for that, if you realize that your opponents are blundering pawns and pieces, just capture them, guys. It's really important. Now my bishop is just a little bit off. I think I should be playing bishop c4, which is improving my bishop from quite a lot. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, now I played a little bit badly. I should have taken the pawn, but it's okay. It's a bishop b3 against opening rules. Don't put the bishop in front of a pawn. No, but my point. Okay, the thing is, I played bishop d3 because he played e6. Like he played e6. Yeah. So when I'm playing bishop d3, I'm not thinking that he's going to play e5 and blunder a pawn. My goal is that if he castles, I have e5. I'm sorry, I have e5. Pawn takes, the knight goes away, and then I wanted to go h4 and attack on the king side. And this is why I said for the people that are super aggressive, the bishop is just pointing at the king. For people that are aggressive, that would have been a great plan. Of course, he played e5, which blundered the pawn, and then decided not to take the pawn, which is a mistake. But it's not because it's a bishop behind the pawn that it's bad. If a piece is bad, you can always move it away. Hello, Gina. How are you doing? Hello, Vince, le rétro gamer 6298. Yeah, now everything is perfect. What's funny is that I started recording and I didn't think that I would be streaming. And I'm streaming, so I didn't think that I would be recording while streaming. Hello, everyone. Perfect. And now I'm just bringing my pieces into the game. I see some tensions. Maybe one day there might be a trick. Um, if not, then not. So be it. And yeah, we're basically having it for the moment. Haha. Rook b8, he's trying to go b5, but it doesn't work because I can just capture everything. Although I see a world where I'm just capturing on e5, he captures back, and then I capture on a7. Let's just do this. Now it's time to take all his pawns. If he blunders, 5 pawns at the same time, maybe I should just capture them and beat him. No, if someone is weaker than you, but you're not calculating, then he's not weaker than you. Important. Important stuff. Very, very important. And now I'm just going to play queen d2, sacrifice on h6, go queen h6, I think that is just winning, yeah. He wants knight c5, attacking everything, but it's just blundering a pawn there. I capture, he captures, captures, captures. And if I capture here first, yeah, she's playing well. The problem that I have once again is that I can just capture, capture, captures, captures, and now I need the dirty move. I don't know. Let's just play 95. I think I could just play queen e2 and I'm positionally winning. The two problems that I have for him, yeah, that's the thing. Here, if he was capturing queen e2, I was threatening knight g6, which basically wins the rook since the pawn is pinned, and this is something that he missed. Now he went bishop e6, but I can basically capture right there, capture right there. I think I would just capture on e6, because he has to deal with that, and I don't know if he wants to deal with that. No, he just blundered a couple of pawns. I would just play queen e2, just making sure that nothing is happening right there. I'm going to push those pawns. Push it. I hate passive moves. I never know how to punish them with forcing moves. If someone doesn't do anything but you do stuff, then you're going to win, no matter who your opponent is. Yeah, if your opponent is just waiting back and forth, random moves the whole time, and you just start going for concreteness, who are you going to lose against? You know? If you're playing concrete moves and then your opponent doesn't react, he loses the game. So maybe it's time to switch something. Okay, I have more pawns on the king side. I have 4 against 3. I can just start pushing. If he goes the knight there, he's going to threaten a fork, but I can just go rook f2, which defends the pawn and also plays rook f1. So I will play this f4. Because if knight d4, I just have rook f2, which defends everything, and I'm going to play rook f1, and I'm the best player ever. All right, by the way, subscribe to the channel, guys. I am looking to reach 100,000 subscribers this year. And I'm not randomly saying that. This is a goal that I had when I was 9 years old. My first channel was that. I want everything to go towards this direction. Um, and I won't promote, you know, random things on my YouTube channel. It's not even that I want to make huge income with that. I just want to be, you know, I just want to be recognized for one thing, and that is my seriousness when teaching chess. And I don't need to be a millionaire, all of that. But I want people to realize that I've done a lot for myself, for my students, for the people I worked with, for the people I will ever train with. And if I'm not enough, and if I'm not creating that type of content that will allow you to really see how much I love this game and how much I love what I'm doing, then it's my fault. I have to create I have to create a content that is going to help you support my work. Yeah. It will be my fault if my content is too bad, even though my motivation is extremely high. Oh no, he blundered the rook. No, he blundered that. Unlucky. Oops. Oops, he had to go rook e8. By the way, I didn't say anything, but I want to go queen e6 and 95 and he will have lost. Genuine misclick. Oops. Let's just offer him a draw. Yeah, just offer him a draw. Okay, let's do it one more time. If misclick, then misclick. It's okay. Okay, one more round, and then we'll see how things go. Okay. I played e5 last round. Let's just play the Caro-Kann repertoire that I'm basically teaching to a lot of people. Um, Basically, the Caro-Kann is simple. I want to play d5 like it's Scandinavian, but I don't want my queen to get out. Although the Scandinavian became playable, which is crazy. GG's. Hehe. What did you say in the YouTube chat? You said, but small steps are the best. My goal is at least 2,000 this year. Good luck to reaching your goal. Thank you very much. But small steps are the best. What is your current rating, Zikera? I have a very short memory though, so if I have a goal tomorrow, I might eventually forget about that. By the way, now he gave me the f5 square back, so I'm just going to play bishop f5. What is the current level, Zikera? Maybe I will just start a simul. So if you're on YouTube, by the way, join this channel when I'm streaming. We're playing simuls. You're learning a lot of things. I'm having a good time playing with you. So that's just the thing. I'm playing h6 just to prevent bishop g5, and also since it's in modern Caro-Kann where he took a lot of space, I might eventually play g5 captures. Okay, I will just trade, play g5, play knight f5, applying a lot of pressure, and I'm just going to go bishop e7, knight f8, knight g6, and start pushing those pawns. And I'm going to attack very aggressively. Everyone sees a Caro-Kann as a boogie-woogie type of opening. No, it's a super aggressive one. Oh, play Caro-Kann, do you know my variation low? I do. I'm not that good online. It's okay. But like, what is your FIDE rating or your current rating? It's okay. I'm also not the beast when playing online chess. There's really nothing wrong with that. As long as you know where you're sitting on, it's okay. No worries, sounds good. Uh, okay. I have a student that wrote me a nice message. I love what I just saw. Alright, so there is g4. He's attacking my knight, but I think I can just move back, and he's giving me this breakthrough with h5. Now he gave me a hook. He gave me a pawn on the king side, and I wanted to open up the king side, so it's okay. You know my variation, lol? Which variation are you talking about? I created the whole game. I'm the best player ever. My goodness. Ah. Okay. Oopsie. And now I'm just trying to play h5. b3 is passive. It's not doing anything. I'm playing h5 aggressiveness, trying to smash this pawn. If he captures, I will just capture with the rook or with the knight. I think mainly with the knight. Although I want the knight to be back on f5 and apply a lot of pressure, so I will just play rook takes. I'm not going to castle anyway. Why? Because he already castled and I don't want to be losing too much time. What's your variation? Yeah, what's your variation? Tell me, tell me. Yeah, and things look pretty good, you know? So if things look pretty good, things look pretty good. That's the way it goes. By the way, I just realized that on YouTube there is now a way of creating a double stream. Nice. E4, C6, D4, D5, E5, Queen B6. Yeah, Hikaru played that a lot. No, Firouzja played that a lot. No, I'm not aware of that. I'm not playing it. I don't know this line as much as I should. Okay, if I captures, I can't apply more pressure against his pawn. He can just go King E2. So maybe I would just stop building up more pressure, and I will play Knight G6, and eventually giving myself some moves. Moves. The Gina variation. Nice. Queen B6. E4, C6, D4, D5, E5, Queen B6. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that before. I don't know if that's Hikaru who played that or a student of mine. Or maybe Hikaru is my student. Who knows? Nowadays, everyone can be a trainer also. So, this is something that sometimes just take. You have to popularize it. Sure. This is something that I have here in my throat. This is basically those people that teach chess just to have some money to, you know, just celebrate and whatever. Sure. No problems with that. The problem is that sometimes they train people that really want to get better. They are sometimes training people that have clear chess goals, and they don't realize that they don't, and that's just crap. Yeah, I'm playing King D7 because I need some open files, some open ranks, and I want to open things up. My king's pretty safe. Even if he captures, I capture back, and there's simply nothing. If I go A5, captures, he can't get in. So although here's the F5 square here, maybe I played that too fast. But I think I can just capture. And I'm basically going to capture with my queen, bring my rook. And it is going to hurt. If he goes knight h2, I have knight f4, by the way. Captures, and there's a pin on the third. Um, yeah. If bishop takes, he loses the queen. If knight takes, oh, unlucky, my friends. That was a very aggressive game, though. Yeah, he played a little bit too fast. Well, I was beating an FM and a woman international master Katana with it. I don't know Katana. Hello, SSK. How are you doing? But lost some time. Well, it happens. It does happen, sadly. You know, indeed. GG's. Haha. Sorry about that, Salmon Stone. SSK, are you Salmon Stone? There's a tiny chance you are Salmon Stone. Samson Stone. Perfect, yeah. Great. I love it. I like what I do enjoy what I'm doing currently, so it's pretty good. Oh, I played too fast. Maybe E-takes was better. Like even a tiny better, but it was better. Now I'm just grabbing pawns. We'll see when he'll resign, but things look pretty good. But okay, we saw a lot of things, a lot of chess stuff. Like I said, I like what I see. I like what I saw. Maybe I can just capture here. He captures and I capture. Um, Let's just sacrifice a queen back. This knight is horrible for the moment. Horrible. And I'm just going rook b1, trying to re-attack the knight a second time. So he's not in time to play knight f3 because I have bishop a3. This is what creating a threat is all about in chess. So he has to go for something like rook g2, but now I'm just going to snap this pawn. I'm up in exchange. I'm going to win yet another pawn. So I could see a world where I'm winning. And now, by the way, he doesn't have 94. I calculated that pretty quickly, but after captures, I capture right there, and I capture right there. And if you want to get better, you have to see those tiny little threads at the end of some lines. That never hurts. It helps you getting better. It prevents you from blundering. Now the knight is completely cut it off. The knight has nowhere to go. I'm just pushing. Nowhere to go. My rook is stronger. This is the reason why rooks are stronger than knights, by the way. It is because I can... Um, okay, I will just push. Push the a pawn, because if you push a pawn and the pawn is attacking the knight, then the pawn is doing a great job. I could have captured the pawn though. What am I doing? The pawn captured the knight. Yay, I'm winning. Ooh. It feels like, yeah, Loris, but you're beating beginners that are weaker than you. There is nothing great about beating them. Yes, but some people can't beat them, so they're not beginners. I'm beating this guy because I'm stronger, with all respect. But for some other players, this guy is just too strong. So I'm just helping the guys that can't beat him. And this is what teaching chess is all about. And now I could just stalemate him, by the way. Here I could just stalemate him because he deserves that I stalemate him. If he goes king h5, play until the end. Play until the end, and I'm going to stalemate you. You want a fancy draw? Nice. Perfect. GG's. Thank you. I'm going to analyze them live again if you want to hop in. Haha. Perfect. But lost on time. It's okay, it happens. Okay. It was actually have a wonderful day, friend. I'm off to work. I will tune in when I can. Don't worry. You don't even have to remember my name. That was a pleasure. Thanks for the games. Okay, let's just go analyze them very quickly because now there are a couple of things that I would like to add. So we played 4 games, which is good. Yeah, and now there are a lot of things to learn. This is now where things become interesting. So this is the first one, I think. Yes, it is. So first of all, we just see just from a matter of you know concreteness, logic. I brought my knight out. The only mistakes that my opponent did was basically the fact that when he went knight f6, bishop c4, knight c6, everything is good. This bishop could have got a little bit, cut it before, but here there is nothing off yet. Everything is normal. First mistake, knight d4. So when I'm playing e4, my threat is very simple. I want to play d4 and have this huge and beautiful center. When black goes e5, it is to prevent me from having this beautiful center. When black goes e5, it is to prevent me from playing d4. When black goes knight f6, it is to prevent me to play d4. Um, when you play d4, by the way, your threat is also to push e4. So black can play d5, trying to prevent e4. Black can play knight f6, trying to prevent e4. Black can play f5, trying to prevent e4. So there are a lot of ways to play that. So everything here is normal, except that now when I'm playing d4, captures, sure, I will never be able to play d4 again in my life. The problem is that I have a knight on d4, and he doesn't have any pieces controlling d4. So actually, I'm compensating my double pawns in the center for none. So that is not good. The problem is that now he captured off, and he doesn't even have this beautiful piece control that he used to have a couple moves ago with pawn to e6. I'm sorry, with the knight on c6 that is controlling the e5 square. By the way, if he goes a6, I have e5, which is a nice tactic. If pawn takes and I have bishop f7 check, the king was controlling the d8 square and therefore defending the queen. No, it's not, and I'm winning the queen. So he went e6, trying to defend against that. If he saw that, if he didn't, so be it. Anyway, in this position, I played bishop g5 because I wanted to go long castles, and my rook will be playing on the d file. He went e5, which is a huge mistake. Now the d5 square is a forever target. And right now, if he had gone, for example, bishop e7, then I long castle. If I'm really applying a lot of pressure against this pawn, there is even a world where he can just sacrifice it, go queen a5, and put the rook on the 8th, because my queen would be on d6. Even if I capture, let's say castles captures, he can even do something like this. Bishop takes f6, captures queen a5, and now he's going to play rook d8. He's trying to attack there. It happens. It's very hard to play. I'm not even sure he's better. I'm not even sure he has enough compensations but I will still have to, play somewhat seriously. So, the game is not over. Anyway, uh, in the game he went e5, and now the d6 square is, the d6 square is extremely weak, but also the d5 square is weak, and it gave us what happened in the game. So basically, I can just capture, capture, and play knight e5. My knight is the best knight ever, and after queen d8, the real problem is that if he goes bishop e6 and trades off, maybe there is a chance of holding it for at least a couple more moves, regarding especially another fact that the bishop on f8 is defending the d6 square. Now it's not, oh, sorry. Now the bishop on c8 isn't getting traded off for the knight because I can play bishop b5, which basically happened in the game. And after bishop to b5, the problem that I have, or that black has mainly, is that after bishop d7, I'm trading off, and the knight is unstoppable. The knight is just the strongest knight ever seen on Earth, and that is a problem. So you know, sadly, it's just losing. And now I'm just playing queen b4. I'm trying to double the rooks exactly like I did it on the d file. And everything is perfectly protected. And it's just a matter of time until this pawn drops. He can try whatever he wants to. Sadly, he's not going to survive that. I play queen e1, just trying to make sure that my queen is safe. Eventually, playing on the king side the same way I did that. And now, after rook a6, you know, this is going to win, this is weak, and I just push my pawns on the king side because I have more pawns on the king side. Basically, visually you can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns against 1, 2, 3, eventually 4. But this pawn is being defended by the d pawn that is already under a lot of pressure. So I hardly, very hardly can count that as a pawn playing on the king side since it's more weakness than anything else. I pushed everything, and now it's just winning. If he captures, by the way, knight f6, which is a fork, he has to capture back, and now the rooks are absolutely gorgeous, and they just win the queen. So after e5, he went b4, but now I was applying a lot of pressure. You can see that I have 1, 2, 3 attackers against the d6 square, against 1, 2, 3 defenders, but I have the option of trading off one of the defenders for my knight, which I did. Eventually it was slightly wrong, I can imagine that, but just for the purpose of the upload and the fact that I'm teaching you chess, maybe that was the best thing to do, out of a pedagogical standpoint of view. And I just won the pawn, and now it's just very technical. I just kept pushing my pawns, and that's how I won. Now after g6, the h6 square is extremely weak, so I went e6. I could have played queen c1 though, but I thought king h7 and I wasn't sure about that. So I went e6, trying to give myself the move e7, attacking the rook. If he captures, I wanted to go rook takes, which is threatening rook e6, which is not allowing king h7 ever again. So this is pretty good. He went b3. I captured. Now if queen takes, I can just go e7, and even if he goes rook b8 trying to threaten mate, then I'm just faster with my check. Note, by the way, that the queen can't give me any checks anywhere, so this is just not good. King h7, pushed, rook e8, rook d8. If he captures, I capture back with the queen. If he goes queen c6, which I was mainly thinking about, then just queen to d1, and my threat is very simple. I want to capture, and go queen d8, captures, and if the queen moves away, then I just make another queen, and it should be winning. Even if he gives me a check, I can just hide away very effectively. Okay, so this is the game that I want to analyze. This is the games that I played. If you have any more questions, just let me know in the comment section of this video. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. See you in the future. So join the Discord. Take care.